Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, 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 Allah. Allahu, Allahu, Allah.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم اجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما، واجعل تفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما، ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا ولا معنا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. My respected ulama kiram, brothers, sisters in Islam, I greet you all with the greeting of Islam. Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi, Wabarakatuh. We will begin with some recitation of the Quran. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي. All praises due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may His choicest salutations and benedictions be upon our Imam, our exemplar, our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. What you have just heard, as you will be well aware, is the recitation of Surah Al Fajr. And today we want to mention a few words about the meanings embedded within this surah. Some reflections upon it. As we are well aware, the month of Ramadan is the month of the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran itself about the month of Ramadan, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. The month of Ramadan in which the Quran was revealed. The Quran in it was revealed. The month thereby almost being a type of commemoration of the revelation of the Quran and the fasting instituted thereby in it. Hudan linnas, a guidance for humanity, for all people. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِنَ الْهُدَى, a clarification of the guidance and a criterion of how the upright life, the godly life, the life that is devoted towards Allah and towards the life of the hereafter, how that life really looks like. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam, he used to, as occurs in the hadith Sahih al-Bukhari, he used to recite the Quran every Ramadan to the angel Jibreel, the archangel Jibreel alayhi salam. Except in the final year of his life. In the final year of his life, he in fact recited it twice over, reviewed it twice over with the angel Jibreel alayhi salam. And we know that whoever recites the Quran, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wasallam informed us, من قرأ حرفا من كتاب الله فله حسنة والحسنة بعشر أمثالها. لا أقول ألف لام ميم حرف، ولكن ألف حرف ولام حرف وميم حرف. That whoever recites the book of Allah, he will have 10 rewards per letter. I do not say alif lam mim is a single letter. Rather, alif is a letter, lam is a letter, and mim is a letter. Each one thereby recite, when you recite it, you have 30 rewards thereby altogether. As a minimum. Minus, that's ignoring the multiplying factor of Ramadan itself. And this book is a blessed book, such that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith, which is authentic, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَمَا اجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ يتلون كتابه ويتدارسونه بينهم إلا حفتهم الملائكة وخشيتهم الرحمة ونزلت عليهم السكينة وذكرهم الله في من عنده ومن بطأ به عمله لن يسرع به نسبه. أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam says that وَمَا اجْتَمَعَ قَوْمٌ فِي بَيْتٍ مِّن بُيُوتِ اللَّهِ, no people gather in a house from the houses of Allah, one of the mosques, يَتْلُونَ كِتَابَ اللَّهِ, reciting the book of Allah and studying it between themselves. That includes the reflections upon it, studying its meaning, what direction and guidance Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving to us. Except إِلَّا نَزَلَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ السَّكِينَةِ, the tranquility descends upon them, and the angels envelop them with their wings, and the mercy descends upon them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remembers them and mentions them amongst those who are close to Him from the malaika. He mentions them. He mentions you by name, O servants of Allah. What greater respect, what greater privilege and honor could there be than this? And this book is a book that is meant to be recited and reflected upon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كتاب أنزلناه إليك مبارك ليدبروا آياته وليتذكر أولو الألباب. Kitab, a book, revealed, blessed in its nature, blessed, مبارك أنزلناه. Why? ليدبروا آياته, that they may reflect upon its verses, they may reflect upon its passages, and that they may take heed and be transformed, changed, reformed and rectified by this book. So that having been said, I'm now going to call on our brother Jazak'Allah to recite or read rather the English without his glasses.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy, by the daybreak, by the 10 nights, by the even and odd, by the night as it passes, is the oath strong enough for a rational person? Have you, O Prophet, considered how your Lord dealt with the people of Ad, of Iran, the city of lofty pillars, whose like has never been made in land, and the Thamud, who hewed onto the rocks in a valley, and the mighty and the powerful Pharaoh, all of them committed excesses in their lands, and spread corruption there. Your Lord, let a scourge of punishment loose on them. Your Lord is always on the watch. The
Jazak'Allah Khair for that powerful reading. As you can see, the surah begins. Let us recite the first few verses. It's a Meccan chapter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the translation of the meaning is, or the interpretation is, in the name of Allah, the Lord of mercy and the giver of mercy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts by saying, the meaning of which is, by the daybreak, by the time of Fajr, and the 10 nights, by the even and the odd, by the night as it passes. Is this oath not enough for a rational person? So this surah begins therefore by mentioning certain things. The Fajr, which signifies the beginning of day, right? And then the even and the odd, the 10 nights. And the even and the odd, again referring to a time frame. And the night as it passes. Notice each one of these are windows of almost framing your thoughts along the line that this world is a transitory world. It's a world that's passing by fast. Life is passing by fast. In fact, nothing remains as it is. Nothing stays as it is. All things are changing. All things will go. All things will perish. The transitory nature of this world. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to give the example of people who were really mighty. Mightier than you, all of you, and us. And yet they also were subjected to this transitory nature of life. That it was short, it's a test, it's for you for a few days for you to show who amongst us will be best indeed. Yet they didn't get it. And if you, O believers, O human beings, think that we are strong and we're invincible, as sometimes we're fooled and beguiled into thinking, then reflect on these cases. It's almost as though that's what it's reflect on these cases. Have you considered, O Prophet, how your Lord dealt with the people of Ad, who are mighty people, the people of Ad, of Iran, the city of lofty pillars, whose like has never been made in any land, and the Thamud, who hewed into the rocks in the valley, and the mighty and the powerful Pharaoh, all of them committed excesses in the lands, and spread corruption there. Your Lord let a scourge of punishment loose on them. Your Lord is always on the watch. The nature of man is that when his Lord tries him through honor and blessings, he says, my Lord has honored me. But when he tries him through the restriction of his provisions, he says, my Lord has humiliated me. No, indeed, you people do not honor orphans. You do not urge one another to feed the poor. You consume inheritance greedily, and you love wealth with a passion. No, indeed, when the earth is pounded to dust, pounded and pounded, when your Lord comes with the angels row upon row, when hell that day is brought near, on that day man will take heed. But what good will that be to him then? He will say, would that I had provided for this life to come. On that day, no one will punish as he punishes, and no one will bind as he binds. But you, O soul at peace, return to your Lord well pleased and well pleasing. Go in among my servants. going to my garden. The surah, as we said, began by mentioning the transitory nature of life. Then it goes and says, have you considered the example, O Prophet, of that of Ad, a strong, great civilization at that time? Where are the remnants now? They no longer exist. They no longer are present. No one's there to remember them, to celebrate their achievements. Or that of Iran, the city that built these lofty pillars. So lofty, in fact, that no architectural heights have even begun to compete with it. And Thamud, who could hew into the rocks, and they carved out their mansions inside the mountains. And the mighty and powerful Pharaoh, the one who said, it's not the land of Egypt, which is one of the greatest kingdoms of the time. He presided over this fantastic, illustrious dominion, which was his, he thought. Yet where is he now? All of them committed excesses in the land and spread corruption therein. They were not worshippers of Allah. But what was the consequence? Allah says, your Lord let a scourge of punishment loose upon them. And then Allah says, your Lord is an ever-watcher. In that sentence, in that passage, is an ishara, a subtle indication for you and I. If he was a subtle watcher, if he was an ever-watcher over them, he is indeed an ever-watcher over you and I. If they committed excesses and wrongdoings in their lives and upon the earth, then what about you and I if we commit excesses and wrongdoings on the earth in our lives? Is Allah not also an ever-watcher over us? And if He is, how should that reflect in our emotional profile? How should that reflect in our state of inner being? How should that reflect, therefore, in our outward conduct with the mighty, majestic Maker and Creator, and with creation as well? Now here's the verses I want you to also consider very carefully. Allah goes on to say, the meaning of which is, the nature of man is that when his Lord tries him, through giving him some honors and blessings, he says, my Lord has honored me. Pause there. Let me ask you the question. Is that sentence, would you have usually thought that's something good or something bad? Allah honors you, and you say, Allah has honored me. You're not saying, I'm honorable. You're saying, Allah has honored me. Is that good or bad? What? Are you fasting, brothers? Yes, I can tell. In spite of that, I want you to answer. It is, if Allah honors you, you say, Allah has honored me, is that good or bad? Good. The nature of man is such that when Allah gives him blessings and He honors him and gives him lots of comfort, he says, Allah has honored me. But then the verse clearly goes on to indicate that Allah is actually not praising such a person, it's dispraiseworthy, was just been mentioned. He says, but when He tries him through the restriction of His provisions, He says, my Lord has humiliated me. Is that criticism or is that praise? Is that good or bad, what Allah is saying about this person? Bad. Yes? Anyone disagree? Or unclear or certain? So Allah is censuring and giving dispraise, criticizing this person. That when you're given, you think Allah is blessing you and honoring you. And when He withholds from you and restricts His provision from you, you're saying, oh, Allah has humiliated me. But Allah is in fact saying, you are applying the wrong lens in your life. The wrong lens. You're thinking material gain and material winning is reflective and indicative of Allah being pleased with you. And therefore, how pious I am, how good I must be a good person, therefore Allah has given me. And when He withholds from you, it must be that I've done something wrong. The thought never occurs to you. Then maybe Allah gives to some people because they're actually, maybe like some of us, we are sinful, rebellious, wicked individual souls. And Allah is actually extending the noose the rope with which one hands oneself. Or sometimes for another person, he's testing them by that ni'mah. How will you react? Will you give from it? Will you be humbled by it? Or will you become haughty, arrogant and proud? When we say shukr, alhamdulillah, I don't think we know what shukr means. If Ijaz Bhai does something nice to me, I might think I'll say thank you to him. I might be slightly humbled. But ultimately I can say it's coming from Allah and He's a means, a mechanism, a vehicle. So I'm not overly humbled by it. Specifically, I'm humbled, but not overly. But you have to remember the ni'mah of Allah which comes to you. It is solely from Him. You did nothing in reality to get it. Now tell me, shouldn't that bring about a truly humbled inner state? Because you realize, what did I do to deserve Islam? What did I do to deserve Iman? What did I do to deserve my comfort, my security, my safety and stability? In truth, I did nothing to truly deserve it. So you become humbled by it. Whereas that man, he's feeling honored by it. He's suddenly thinking he's somehow elevated and enhanced thereby. And actually, the second worst thing he's done is that he's now allowed the yardstick of success and failure to have become something external and material, as opposed to the spiritual, internal and immaterial. To understand that it's actually your inner state which is your true marker of success, your relationship with Allah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, indeed, you people do not honor orphans. You do not urge one another to feed the poor. Notice it doesn't say feeding the poor Muslims alone, or the non-Muslims. It's all people who need or are wanting of food. The Prophet ﷺ was once seated and a funeral procession passed by him of a Jewish individual. The Prophet, upon whom be peace ﷺ, he stood up, marking the respect of the passing of a human soul. So the Prophet ﷺ stood up, and the companions, some of them, they said, Ya Rasulullah, it's a Jewish individual. The Prophet ﷺ responded, almost in a disciplining manner, saying, Alaysa nafsan? Was it not a soul? Was it not a living being that requires still that recognition and respect? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. And they feed the homeless, the indigent, the needy, the incarcerated. And they say, we only feed you. This is either verbally or actually intending to themselves. In fact, we only feed you. إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ. Seeking the face of Allah and the countenance of Allah. We seek not from you neither favor nor gratitude. We're doing it for the Day of Judgment. The feeding of the needy and the homeless. And you consume inheritance greedily, and you love wealth with a passion. No, indeed, then Allah says, all of this, however, is a distraction from what you're created for. And you forget in the process that you are being distracted from the recognition of the transitory nature of this world. Then Allah brings you back to what will happen after this transition is completed. No, indeed, when the earth is pounded to dust, pounded and pounded, when your Lord comes with the... When hell that day is brought near, on that day man will take heed. But what good will that be to him then? He will say, would that I had sent forth provisions for this day. On that day, no one will punish as he punishes, and no one will bind as he binds. But then Allah tells you and me about the person who will be exempted from that condition. Allah says, oh, you soul at peace. This is the soul that engaged with their purpose, his or her purpose of creation, the ultimate purpose of life, of being in the servitude of Allah. humble before Allah, in the worship of Allah, and serving and trying to benefit humanity for the pleasure of Allah. Humbled before Allah, grateful for Him and His blessings, showing a recognition of the divine favor and love conferred upon you. O you soul at peace, and in the remembrance of Allah, brothers and sisters, hearts indeed do find rest. So if you remember Allah, you will be from those who have peace in your heart and your mind. And when you have that peace in your heart and your mind, you will find that you will be from those who are within the category of those who are described as being the O soul at peace. And then it will be said to that person, return to your Lord well pleased and well pleasing. You are content with Allah in this life, and therefore Allah is content and pleased and satisfied with you. Go in among my servants. My servants, Allah says, tashrifan, an honorific pronoun, saying that you are my servants. Of course you are Allah's servants, but He is accepting ownership of you because you accepted His guidance and His commands in this life. And go into my garden, enter the Jannah. This is the garden which is described by Nabi al-Karim alayhi salatu wasalam as being that place that's so amazing, so sublime, that no eye has ever seen anything like it. No ear has ever heard anything similar to it. And no mind or heart or imagination could ever conceive or behold or imagine anything remotely as great, as magnificent, as glorious, as satisfying as that place, Jannah, the garden of my Lord and Lord. Sallallahu wasallam wa baraka ala Rasulullah walhamdulillah rabbil alameen. I'll end actually by just giving you one brief announcement, if I may, which is about these 10 nights. One of the very important things, brothers and sisters, is to engage in as much ibadah as possible. But as you do so, I want to share with you an important internal state, frame of mind that you must seek to achieve. And that is one of actually not considering your ibadah as being great. يَمُنُّونَ عَلَيْكَ أَنْ أَسْلَمُوا قُلْ لَا تَمُنُّوا عَلَيَّ إِسْلَامَكُمْ. They do men. Do you know what man is? It's like saying, calling you ihsan, for those who speak Urdu. It's saying, I've done ihsan, I've got some sort of favor. You're calling a favor upon Allah that you worship Him. Say, no, indeed, Allah is favoring you by letting you and enabling you to worship Him. The Prophet ﷺ, the one for whom مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ, if he even had any sins, all past and future sins would have been forgiven. He used to stand in prayer until حتى تتفطر قدماه أو حتى تتورم قدماه, until his feet would become swollen, and even his heels would crack up and bleed because of the extensive and long durations for his prayers, the night prayers. And that, brothers and sisters, was outside Ramadan. He would pray until his ankles would get swollen, his feet would bleed from the remembrance of Allah. That's how long he was standing. Something that we would find almost unimaginable. And that is him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who had had all his sins forgiven. Our mother Aisha radiallahu anha, al-Mu'mineen, Abdullah al-Humayra radiallahu anha, she would say, Ya Rasulullah, your sins have been all forgiven. You have no real need, in essence, to do this. The Prophet of Mercy sallallahu alaihi wasallam would respond, أَفَلَا أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Should I not be a grateful servant therefore? How much greater is our need to worship Allah? How much greater is our need to be standing in prayer? How much more important therefore is it for us to belittle our deeds as we do it? That's the point I want to make. Belittle your deeds and glorify the action itself, the opportunity. But think of yourself as someone who never has engaged in it as it ought to be engaged in. When you will do that, you will then engage in more ibadah, because you will not feel I've done a huge amount. And that is very important. I want to end really by giving you a short, brief reading of some of the great Imams of the past and their ibadah. Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullahi alayhi is mentioned. Asad ibn Amr said that Imam Abu Hanifa Rahmatullahi alayhi offered the Fajr prayer with the same ablution, the same wudu as Isha prayer for 40 years of his life, not just Ramadan, throughout the year. He would be praying Fajr Salah with the same wudu as that of Isha, because you pray Isha and then keep remembering Allah and praying Tahajjud and Qiyamul Layl and studying and remembering Allah and doing dhikr until the Fajr prayer arrived for 40 years. And see how Allah rewarded him and made him an Imam for humanity. And that's separate to his studying, his teaching, his codification of law, his service for humanity. Imam Abu Yusuf al-Qadi, one of his students, said, one day I was walking with Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, when someone said to another, that is Imam Abu Hanifa, who spends the whole night in prayer. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah remarked, by Allah, he's not saying something about me which I do not do. Indeed, then he went on to say, Abu Yusuf al-Qadi said, rahimahullah said, indeed he used to spend the whole night praying or imploring Allah and invoking him. Imam Muhammad ibn Idris al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, the famous Imam of one of the four madhahib as well, the leading scholar in his time and supporter of hadith and the great jurisprudent of Islam, he said, or in fact Ibn Rabi' said about him, al-Shafi'i used to stay up the whole night praying until the day he passed away. That's all the way until his old age. Al-Rabi' said, Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah used to divide his nights into 3 parts. He would write books of knowledge in the first, he would pray in the second, and sometimes take a small nap in the third. Al-Muzni rahimahullah said, I never saw Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah recite the Quran at night except in prayers. He would read the whole Quran in Salah. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah, the great Imam of his time and scholar of one of the four madhahib as well, his son Abdullah said, my father used to offer 300 rak'ahs every day and night. This is not Ramadan, outside Ramadan. 300 rak'ah every day and night until he was tortured. You'll be aware that he was tortured because of an issue, theological issue around why was the Quran created or not, and he was stating it wasn't. And at the time, the caliph was ardent or had been persuaded into saying that Imam Ahmad needed to be tortured to bring him back to say, or bring him to the point of saying it was created. So what happens is, he said, my father used to offer 300 rak'ahs every day and night until he was tortured. After that, he used to offer 150 rak'ahs, units of prayer. And that was when he was about 80 years of age. What then about you, dear young brothers? I feel like saying that includes all of you. Because who's 80? And who's praying near 150 or 300 rak'ahs? Hilal ibn A'la, Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, Yahya ibn Ma'in, and Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal all set out for Makkah one day. When they approached it, they camped somewhere outside the city. Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah and Imam Yahya ibn Ma'in both lay down, whereas Imam Ahmad rahimahullah stood up to pray. When dawn came, Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah said, I have found the answer to 200 questions pertaining to fiqh and jurisprudence. Imam Yahya said, I have found about 200 fabricators of hadith who were attributing falsely sayings to the Prophet ﷺ. And Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, I offered a few rak'ahs, a few units of prayer, in which I completed the recitation of the whole Quran. Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah, another one of the preeminent jurists of Islam, said, I have never spent time, Abdurrahman ibn Mahdi said about him, I've never spent time with anyone who fears Allah more than Sufyan, i.e. Imam Sufyan al-Thawri. He used to sleep only in the first part of the night, and then wake up trembling, saying, the fire, the fire. The fire has distracted me from sleep and from pleasures, as though he was addressing someone in the house. Then he would make wudu and invoke Allah, saying, Oh Allah, you know that I need what I need, and you do not need to be told what I need. I only ask you that you save me from the fire. Oh Allah, this is part of your comprehensive bounties upon me, just as you bestow your bounties upon your devoted and obedient servants. My Lord, you know that if I had a reason for solitude, I would not live with people for a moment. Then he would engage in prayer and cry so meditation because of his excessive crying. Sometimes I could hardly look at him out of awe and respect. Ali ibn al-Fudayl said, I saw al-Thawri, Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah, in prostration, sujood. And I had gone around the Kaaba for 7 times, 7 circumambulations of the Kaaba he made and completed before Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah, had even lifted his head from sujood once. I know the sound completely compelling and almost overwhelming for many of us. However, this should be a small window into the life of the pious and should be a source of inspiration for us. These are only a few days, 6 days, 7 days, and from them will be a night which is equal to more than 1,000 nights, 1,000 months of worship. More than 1,000 months of worship. Not equal to 83 years and a quarter, I'm told, 1,000 months, but more than that. And the favour of your Lord knows no limits. So my advice to yourselves, brothers and sisters, is to make the most of this. My advice to myself and yourself, brothers, especially those in i'tikaf, is to let this i'tikaf be a khalwa, a private, secluded time between yourself and your Lord, to assess and evaluate your standing, to look within yourself and your soul, and to see and note its quality of relationship or the lack thereof with your Maker and Master, and to condition your thoughts such that you emerge and come out of this i'tikaf renewed in your connection with Allah, with sharpened vision in terms of what your life was meant to be about. And that you leave Ramadan, inshallah, as we hope and pray that all of us will be, without any sins, such that we made full usage and took great utility from this month, and thereby receive the pleasure of our Lord, that we stand before Him when He is pleased with us and we're well pleasing, and that Allah says to us, enter amongst my servants, O soul, at peace, rest, enter into my garden. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا بها جنتك ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا ومتعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما أحييتنا واجعله الوارث منا واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا وانصرنا على من عادانا ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا ولا تسلط علينا من لا يرحمنا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك الحمد لله.
Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh. Brothers and sisters, Jazak'Allah Khair for watching or listening. Please check out the Salaam Media Instagram page at Salaam_Media 786. Assalamualaikum Warahmatullahi Wabarakatuh once again.